everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for Drag Me to Hell, which came out in 2009, as directed by Sam Raimi. This was his big follow-up after completing his Spider-Man trilogy. The movie follows a loan officer named Christine, played by Alison Lohman. She works at a branch in Pasadena and is up for promotion as assistant manager, but in competition with a new hire who seems to be a real bootlicker. He is just sucking at the toes of the assistant manager, but he's also willing to make some hard decisions that Christine just can't make. So one day, an elderly woman comes in asking for an extension on her mortgage. The bank has already given this woman 2 extensions on her house, so in an attempt to prove to her manager that she can make the tough decisions, Christine denies a 3rd extension. And this pisses off the woman so much that she places a curse on Christine, which will result in her being dragged down to hell in 3 days. I have got 2 more horror movie reviews for this Halloween season, and this week is the theme of movies I didn't like beforehand when I first saw them, but have grown to appreciate them on a second round. With the other movie that I'll be reviewing this week, Hellfest, I have not rewatched that movie, so I have no idea what I think of it, but Drag Me to Hell, when I first saw it in 2009, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I was excited to see it because it got really good reviews, but I didn't see it in theaters. I didn't see it until it came out in DVD later that year, and I was let down by the movie. But I also knew that the reason I was let down by the movie was just because of one scene, just one simple scene that derailed everything. And I thought, you know what? It's been a while. I'll give this movie another chance. I mean, I bought the Scream Factory Blu-ray, so I better like this movie on the second time around, considering I spent money to own it. I'm happy to say that I've actually come around to Drag Me to Hell. I've grown a much bigger appreciation for this movie now that I'm more familiar with Sam Raimi's Evil Dead films. And this is very much a spiritual successor to Evil Dead, though it's more in line with the first movie rather than the second one, and especially the third one, because while it does have a lot of goofy moments here and there, this is more frightening. It's more focused on being a supernatural horror movie, much like the Evil Dead was. There are several moments in this movie where it has a great atmosphere. It's chilling, it's haunting, and I got some legitimate scares out of this movie. And that, of course, has to do with Sam Raimi's direction, his camera work, and he just makes this a creepy-ass horror movie. And it's a true accomplishment considering that this is a PG-13 horror movie, because Sam Raimi's Evil Dead films were rated R, so him pulling off a PG-13 horror movie and making it actually scary is a true accomplishment. His direction, of course, is spot on. The camera work is just as impressive and as wacky and overdramatic as it ever is. The music by Christopher Young fits the mood entirely. It's a great score, and the cast does a really great job selling you in this movie. The main character in this movie is played by Alison Lohman, who I've only seen in this one movie, and she does a really good job. She plays Christine with a level of innocence and kindness that you would believe that this person doesn't deserve to be cursed. As the movie goes on, she ends up becoming more like a crackpot towards other people because nobody else can see the curse or hear what she's hearing. She does something that is entirely unforgivable, which I won't even say in this review. I know I tend to spoil things in these retro reviews without warning, but this is one thing that I just can't say. And when you see the movie and see what goes on in the story, and you get to this moment, you'll just go, oh no. No, no! Which leads to the movie's ultimate question. Does she deserve what she gets at the end of the movie? Does she deserve to be dragged down to hell by the end of it? I don't know, because the one thing that she does in this movie that I say is unforgivable would be enough for her to go to hell. But everything else, she didn't deserve. When she denied the old woman the extension, she was doing her job. She was trying to prove herself that she is capable of being assistant manager. And plus, the old woman was waiting in her car to assault her after she was denied a loan extension. And considering that this old lady's a gypsy, why didn't she just do some gypsy magic to get the money herself? Instead, she had to go ahead and put a curse on the main character. So I mostly believe that no, she didn't deserve the ending that she got, which is actually the main reason why I didn't like this movie when I first saw it, because I thought the ending of the film was such a massive cop-out that she finally lifted the curse. She is free of this, only for the movie to go, oh no, she never lifted the curse, now she's going to hell. Boom, credits. So I always thought that was a major cop-out, but having watched this a second time, and now that I'm debating with myself, did she deserve to go down to hell or not? It kind of makes the movie a bit bold. I have grown a much bigger appreciation for this movie after watching it a second time. Had I reviewed this movie when it came out, I would have said watch at your own risk, or maybe even don't waste your money on it. But in my current state, after watching it a second time, I'd say it's worth seeing in your lifetime. For some people who may not be too familiar with the Evil Dead movies and how Sam Raimi directs those, I would say good but not great, mainly because there are some goofy moments throughout this film. I think it's more serious than Evil Dead 2, but there is a scene that is straight up a Looney Tunes cartoon, where Christine is having hallucinations of the old woman attacking her in a shed. The old woman sticks her hand into Christine's mouth and it looks really cartoonish. There's an anvil right above the old woman's head with a rope attached to it, so Christine cuts the rope, the anvil falls on the old lady, and her eyes fly out of her head into Allison's face, and there's blood and guts everywhere. That is a straight up Looney Tunes moment right there. So I think for some people it may not work, but if you love the Evil Dead movies and you've never seen Drag Me to Hell, you absolutely have to watch it, because again, watching it a second time, I've grown to appreciate this movie a lot more and think it's highly underrated. There you go, that's my review for Drag Me to Hell, and I am so glad that this is money well spent now. The next movie I'm talking about, as I mentioned earlier in the review, is Hellfest. If you saw my worst of 2018 list, this movie made the cut, but I never actually gave a proper review for it on this channel. So I'm going to rectify that. Because I'm such a big fan of Halloween Horror Nights, and since I'll be going to Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights for the first time, I figured to give this movie another shot. But for now, I want to know what you guys think about Drag Me to Hell. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Threads. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.